Meet Lauren Mitchell, a hardworking 38-year-old who finally built the life she always dreamed of, a modern home in Austin, Texas, with a backyard oasis and a pristine infinity pool. It was her escape from the world, until her neighbors decided it was theirs too. At first, it was just footprints, a stray towel, small things. But then came the full-blown pool parties. They thought they could walk all over her. They were wrong. Because Lauren wasn't just going to stop them. She was going to make sure they regretted ever trying. Want to see how? Hit subscribe, more jaw-dropping stories coming soon. Lauren should have trusted her instincts. The first time she noticed something off, she brushed it aside, a damp footprint near the gate, a crumpled towel draped over her fence, the faint scent of chlorine lingering in the warm Texas air long after she had left for work. Maybe she was imagining things. Maybe it was just the wind. But when she stepped into her backyard one evening and found a half-eaten sandwich resting on her lounge chair, her stomach twisted. Someone had been here. Someone had used her space like it was theirs. The twilight sky was painted in shades of orange and violet, but all Lauren could see was the water, her perfectly clear infinity pool, its surface still rippling from a presence that no longer remained. A sinking feeling clawed at her chest. She checked the gate. Locked. No sign of a break-in. Yet the evidence was undeniable. Her fingers tightened around the towel as unease turned to something sharper. Violation. Disrespect. Audacity. The sound of distant laughter drifted over the fence. Lauren exhaled slowly. At first, she thought it was a mistake. But deep down, she already knew, this wasn't over. It was only the beginning. Lauren Mitchell had worked too hard for this life to have it taken from her, piece by piece, intrusion by intrusion. At 38, she wasn't just another homeowner in Austin, Texas. She was a woman who had clawed her way up from a cramped apartment, from years of relentless work, from a life where luxury was a fantasy. Now, she had this, a sleek, modern ranch house with high windows that bathed her space in golden sunlight, a backyard framed by tall cypress trees, and at its heart, her pride and joy, a crystal-clear infinity pool that shimmered like liquid sapphire under the Texas heat. She had built this sanctuary with intention. Every inch of it was hers. The cool stone tiles beneath her bare feet, the faint scent of jasmine from the garden, the rhythmic hum of the pool filter at night, it all meant something. Independence. Peace. Success. She wasn't looking for neighborhood barbecues or front porch small talk. She wasn't unfriendly, just content. Until now. Because someone, some entitled, reckless someone, was chipping away at what she had built. And if she didn't put an end to it soon, the one thing she had fought hardest to protect, her peace, would be gone. The first time it happened, Lauren wanted to believe it was a mistake. She had just come home from work, the late afternoon heat pressing down like a heavy blanket, when she noticed something strange. The side gate, the one she always locked, was ajar. A chill crept up her spine despite the 98-degree Texas sun beating down on her shoulders. She stepped onto the stone patio, her sandals clicking against the surface, and scanned the yard. A damp footprint. A crumpled soda can on her lounge chair. And then she saw it, a soaked towel, slung carelessly over the fence, its edges still dripping. Her stomach tightened. She turned toward the pool, its usually undisturbed water rippled in unnatural patterns, like someone had been there just minutes before. The faint scent of sunscreen clung to the humid air. Lauren's fingers curled into a fist. Maybe it was just a kid messing around. Maybe it wouldn't happen again. But deep down, she knew better. Because respect isn't something you assume, it's something you demand. And if someone thought they could take what was hers without consequence, they were about to learn just how wrong they were. The second time, there was no doubt. This wasn't a mistake. This was a violation. Lauren had been settling in for a quiet evening, the steady hum of the ceiling fan filling the silence, when something made her pause, a splash. Not the rhythmic churn of her pool filter, but laughter, sharp and careless, carried through the thick summer air. Her pulse quickened. She moved toward the sliding glass door, heart hammering against her ribs, and pushed aside the curtain. There they were. 2 teenagers. One, a boy with dripping hair, floating lazily in her pool like he belonged there. The other, a girl, perched at the edge, feet dangling in the water, her phone lighting up her face as if this were some kind of casual hangout spot. Lauren flung open the door. "Excuse me." The boy jerked upright, eyes wide, scrambling toward the edge like a trapped fish. I thought," he stammered. "You thought what?" Lauren snapped, stepping forward. The girl muttered something about living 2 houses down, but before Lauren could respond, they bolted, dripping footprints across her patio. Lauren stood there, towel in hand, her breath sharp. This wasn't over. Not even close. Lauren pulled into her driveway and knew, something was wrong. The unmistakable thump of bass-heavy music vibrated through the air, the distant echo of splashing and raucous laughter slicing through the stillness of the scorching afternoon. Her hands clenched the steering wheel. No. No way. She stepped out of her car, heart pounding, and rounded the side of her house. The gate. Wide open. And beyond it, her private sanctuary, her backyard, was overrun. At least a dozen people. Strangers. Lounging in her chairs, drinks in hand, wet footprints staining her patio. A cheap folding table had been dragged onto her deck, piled high with bags of chips, a cooler spilling ice onto the ground. Beer bottles bobbed in her pool like forgotten debris. Lauren felt her breath leave her in a slow, deliberate exhale. Then her eyes locked onto Casey Harper, her smug, entitled neighbor, reclining in one of Lauren's pool chairs, a margarita in hand, as if she owned the place. Casey spotted her and had the audacity to smile. "Oh, hey Lauren. Hope you don't mind. We figured since you never use it." Lauren stepped forward, voice like steel. "Every single one of you. Get out." Lauren had tried being reasonable. She had tried talking, locking the gate, even installing cameras. None of it worked. These people didn't understand boundaries. So now, she was done playing nice. She sat at her kitchen table, fingers drumming against the cool marble surface, watching the security footage from earlier that day. The nerve. The absolute entitlement. They lounged in her chairs, swam in her pool, and acted like she was the problem when she told them to leave. Fine. If respect wouldn't keep them out, fear would. First stop, the hardware store. Steel-reinforced locks for the gate. No more easy access. Next, an online order, a special chemical dye used in public pools. Not dangerous, but one drop would turn the water bright red if someone peed in it. Then came the piece de resistance, a fake warning sign. Lauren designed it herself, warning, pool chemically treated. Unauthorized use may result in severe skin irritation and temporary discoloration. She even placed an empty industrial chemical container near the pump for effect. And just to be sure, a motion-activated sprinkler system along the fence. Lauren sat back, satisfied. Now, all she had to do was wait. Lauren didn't have to wait long. It was a sweltering afternoon, the kind that made the pavement shimmer and the air feel thick with heat. She sat by her window, an iced tea in hand, watching, waiting. And then, right on schedule, they came. 2 teenage boys lingered by the fence, whispering, pointing at the new warning sign. One nudged the other, laughing. Lauren's lips curled. "Go ahead. Try it." They hesitated, but just for a moment. Then, one of them climbed over, splashing into the water with a careless whoop. The other followed, dunking under the surface, resurfacing with a cocky grin. Lauren didn't move. She didn't need to. She just waited. Then it happened. The boy in the water stilled. His smile faded. He looked down. His arms, his chest, streaked with a horrifying, bright red tint. His friend's eyes widened. "Dude, what's happening to you?" Panic set in. The boy lunged out of the pool, scrambling to the patio, shaking his hands like he could wipe it away. Lauren took a slow sip of her tea, watching as terror replaced arrogance. This was better than calling the cops. The knock came sharp and impatient, like a summons. Lauren sighed, setting her drink down before peeking through the peephole. Casey. Arms crossed. Furious. Of course. Lauren opened the door, keeping her face neutral. "Something you need?" Casey didn't waste time. "What the hell did you put in your pool?" Lauren leaned lazily against the doorframe. "Oh, you mean the chemical treatment to keep trespassers out?" Casey's nostrils flared. "You can't just do that. What if a kid gets sick? What if?" Lauren cut her off with a slow tilt of her head. "A kid who broke into my yard." Casey faltered. Just for a second. But Lauren caught it. "You don't even have kids," Casey snapped, reaching for anything. "It's just sitting there, going to waste." Lauren smiled. "So because I own something nice, I owe it to you." Casey's face turned red. "Enjoy being the neighborhood psycho." Lauren's grin widened. "Enjoy using your own hose this summer." As Casey stormed off, Lauren shut the door, exhaling slow. They finally got the message. But just to be sure. She had one last trick up her sleeve. For the first time in weeks, Lauren's backyard was silent. No splashing. No music. No entitled voices laughing at her expense. Just peace. Her plan had worked. The pool remained untouched, the gossip had died down, and even Casey had slinked back into her own miserable little world. Lauren had won. Or so she thought. One evening, just as the Texas sun dipped below the rooftops, her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Nice trick. But let's see how long you can keep people out." Lauren's breath hitched. A slow, creeping unease spread through her chest. She glanced out the window, eyes scanning the darkened backyard. The gate was locked. The pool was still. But suddenly, the silence didn't feel comforting, it felt wrong. She tightened her grip on the phone, rereading the message. Had they really given up? Or were they just waiting? A car rumbled down the street, headlights flashing across her fence. Lauren exhaled slowly, her pulse steady but alert. She had been ready to move on. But maybe, this wasn't over after all. Boundaries aren't requests, they're decisions. And if you don't enforce them, someone will always test how much they can take. Lauren learned that the hard way. She tried patience, she tried reasoning, but respect isn't something people just give, it's something you demand. And when words failed, action spoke louder. The truth is, some people don't believe in consequences until they're forced to face them. They'll push and push, assuming you'll cave, assuming you'll tolerate just one more intrusion, one more overstep. But the moment you stand firm, the moment you show them you won't be walked on, that's when they scatter. Yet, here's the catch, people like that never truly learn. They may back off, they may pretend to respect you, but deep down, they're just waiting for another opportunity. So you have two choices: spend your life fighting to be respected, or refuse to let anyone make it a fight in the first place. Lauren made her choice. She wasn't going to waste her peace on people who had no intention of respecting it. The question is, when the time comes, will you be ready to do the same? If you enjoyed this story, there's plenty more where that came from. At Xdaily Stories, we bring you the most gripping, unpredictable, and thought-provoking stories, stories that make you question, reflect, and sometimes even laugh out loud. From jaw-dropping moments of justice to unforgettable acts of revenge, every story is crafted to keep you on the edge of your seat. You never know what's coming next, and trust us, you don't want to miss it. So, if you love powerful storytelling with real-life lessons, hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Got a similar experience? A time when you had to stand your ground and teach someone a lesson? Drop a comment below, we'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching Xdaily Stories, and remember, sometimes, the best way to stop people from crossing the line is to make sure they never forget what happens when they do.